All right, I am back. I am speaking in front of the camera again. Got my hat on, and this new software I'm using called iTop Screen Recorder is different for me. I'm not used to having a background of some kind, and I'm not the best at lighting. I guess I could light this in some way and make it turn out better, but I don't know. I don't need to. Not yet, since I've only got like 5 viewers or something. If that. I don't even know. I mean, people watch my shorts videos when I post a pun, but other than that, they don't really watch anything. And I can understand because I really offer nothing to this planet. I literally don't. I don't offer anything. I'm just here. You know, sometimes I think that I was sent here by mistake. Let me step back. So I was reading in near death experience books, and some people believe, and maybe others, that um, we are sent here, like we come from heaven or a heavenly place, and our souls go into a body at a certain time, and we have a mission in life. We have all of these things that we are meant to carry out, I guess. But me, I was thinking that maybe it was just an accident, like maybe the paperwork got confused and I got sent here and I wasn't supposed to be here. It was just an accident. It was a mistake, even. Not just an accident, it was just a total mistake. That's what I feel like sometimes. Like it was just, my life was just, it was just an accident. It shouldn't have happened. Now, when I was 4 months old, I almost died of pneumonia. But why was I spared? I also almost drowned when I was a teenager. I was like swimming somewhere and almost drowned, and somebody saved me. Like I had a near death experience. Like I saw myself somewhere else. But in this place I was at, it wasn't a pleasant place. It was like a purgatory type thing. So anyway, I just I just think like maybe it was just an accident. Like I was here by mistake, and like it was a mistake. I wasn't supposed to be here. Why am I here? And I can't figure it out. I don't understand. What is my purpose in life? I mean, I don't I think it's too late. I don't even think it matters at this point. So I'm just here on borrowed time, I suppose, by mistake, accident, or whatever you call it. But at least while I'm here, I notice that life is teeming all around me, around you, around us. There's, I don't know if you feel it, but I can feel the essence of animals or plants or people, you know. I know it sounds odd, and I'm not trying to sound all new agey because that's not how I am. It's just it's like if you're conscious of it, it's there. You know what I mean? And so it's just a thought, but like a squirrel ran across my yard today. I mean, for most people, they would probably think this is just a silly thing. But for me, I saw a living creature with organs and fur and a destination, thoughts. Maybe not the same thoughts we have, but the squirrel wanted to get somewhere. It had a destination in mind, crossing the yard because maybe it smelled something on the other side. Maybe it had some nuts to get to. Maybe, who knows what this squirrel was doing. But this squirrel, it had an essence, a life. I mean, the squirrel probably has its own like kind of personality, even like like dogs and cats do. Like you get to know them really well, they have a personality, and it's always unique. Dogs just aren't some silly animal. I mean, they all have needs, emotional needs. Um, they they like certain foods, and things like that. And there's life in them, around them, like a soul or something. You know what I mean? That's what I've been picking up on lately. The essence of things, the soul of things. Just looking down at the clock there. I don't know how long I have on this. I think it's like 10 minutes or something because it's a free version. But anyway, the essence of people, not things so much. I don't even know if they do have an essence to them, but I guess, like wood, let's say, come from a tree, had to grow from a seed, and then it, became this thing that somebody cut down and then transferred that to wood. You know what I mean? Or to like a table or something like that. And so, you know, apparently, yeah, I mean, a tree does have a certain essence. Um, you could even call it a tree consciousness. Like, how does a tree know when to grow leaves or shed those leaves or even grow in general from a seed? The seed has to have some sort of logic or intelligence to it, don't you think? Um, Maybe this is silly, but like our bodies, there's things going on inside our bodies that we just don't understand, that even scientists don't understand. Like what is the mind and how much does the mind weigh? The mind is non-physical. The soul is non-physical. The spirit is non-physical in this realm. Maybe in another realm it is physical. I don't know. You know what I mean? But anyway, probably 5 people are going to watch this video, if that. They'll probably click on it because of some title I dream up after the video is done, and then that'll be it. But yeah, I've just been thinking about the soul, the spirit, the essence of life itself, this planet. This we're orbiting around a sun that is millions of miles away. And any further away, we wouldn't have life. Any closer, everything would just burn up. We're at the right distance from Earth to the sun. And don't tell me that the Big Bang did all of this. It's just not possible. Or evolution. I mean, maybe there are aspects of evolution. Let's say if you want to say like maybe like your life is evolving from bad to good, let's say. I just don't think one thing can become another. I think one thing can just grow out of itself, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like a person grows from an infant to an adult, but that doesn't mean that they evolved in the sense that they were something else and became this other thing. No, they were still a human. They just evolved or grew into their adult self. You know what I mean? But I think as I used to be an atheist, and it wasn't because um, I mean I don't even know if it was because I didn't believe. It's just because I didn't want to believe. I didn't want to believe in God. I didn't like God. At times, maybe I even thought I hated God. And that's why I considered myself an atheist, even though I didn't really buy into the evolution argument or the Big Bang, and never really appealed to me. But I think that we don't we evolve in the sense that we grow over time, but not like a squirrel doesn't become a dog. In 100 billion years, a squirrel can't be a dog. Um, like something can't evolve into another thing. It's just, it suspends, it's actually, it's, yeah, you got to suspend disbelief. You know, like in a movie, you got to look at a character and you think, yeah, they could do that. Um, you have to actually, you actually have to suspend disbelief. I mean, literally, you have to actually make up things to say, yeah, this is true. Like, yeah, sure, this evolution thing, in a billion, 100 billion, trillion years or whatever, you know, one thing becomes another. But you actually have to have faith that that happened, because there's there's literally no other way to think of it. It's not logical. It's just not. And it's not logical for the universe to explode and then everything comes out of it, like the complexity of the universe, black holes, Earth orbiting the sun, other planets orbiting the sun, planets orbiting stars, the complexity of life, perhaps even alien species out there. It just can't come from a bang. And even if that did occur, um, what came before the Big Bang? What ignited the Big Bang? Where did all the gases and all the rocks and all these things come from? You got to really suspend disbelief on that. You got to really hold on to that faith, and you got to hold on to the faith I'm talking about, the faith that that is real, that evolution is real, or the Big Bang is real. It requires a lot of faith to really believe that. I mean, it requires less faith to believe in God, that God created the universe. And maybe things weren't exactly as the Bible portrays them, or creationism isn't exactly the way that the creationists say, but it requires a lot less faith to believe in God than it does evolution or the Big Bang. I mean, those are just absurd theories. I mean, it's just absurd. It really is. And if you want to argue, that's okay. I don't really care. But you could claim that you're right, I'm wrong. I don't care really. I just think that to believe in those two concepts or those two theories requires a lot more faith than believing in God or whatever your religion is. You know what I mean? So I this was a tangent. This video is more or less just me talking, wasting bandwidth, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, that is all I've got for the moment. But I will probably be back because I like this. This is easy. I just plug in the mic, which is right here, turn on the webcam thing, and I'm set. I mean, before I had to do some things and all that. So this is a lot easier. I like easy. I don't like to waste my time doing little things and all that. I just want to just boom, turn it on, and I'm set. That's it. But I'm lazy like that.